Hi everybody, welcome to the Manifold channel. We're going to continue on in our video series of how to acquire data in the field and how to collect that into Manifold. And this is the second of two videos. In the first video we learned how to create and to use a survey form to collect data in the field. That is, we created a survey form that we could download onto mobile devices like smartphones or Windows tablets, use that to collect data. And now we're going to connect to that data that we've collected and have uploaded to servers, and we're going to bring that data and use that data within Manifold. As mentioned in the first video, Manifold uses the so-called Kobo Toolbox ecosystem to acquire for forms generation and to acquire data. And what we're now going to do is we're going to connect to the Kobo servers to collect that data. Manifold makes that very easy by having a basically one-click data source. So we're going to choose Create, New Data Source. And this is creating a data source just like any other. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to the type and we're going to choose Kobo Server. 1, 2, 3, click Kobo Server. And as soon as we do that, it loads the source for the server right here. That's the URL string that goes to the default Kobo servers. And if we're operating our own Kobo server, we can add whatever URL that we have here. And let's give this data source a name other than data source. We'll call it Kobo to remind us what we're using here. And we also need an API key, which we're going to enter right here. And that API key we get from our Kobo account. You know, you log in and create a free Kobo account on the Kobo servers. And that API key uniquely identifies us, so it's a lot quicker than using the login and password. And so I'm going to click that API key right here. And that's the same key that we use in the user manual topic, so I'm just going to recycle that. Okay, all this is great. And click Create Data Source. And like magic, we've just created a data source which connects to the Kobo servers. If I open that, expand that data source, you can see what it's going to do. It's going to download the various projects that we have. And in the first video that I showed you in the series, Create and Use a Survey Form, what we did is we duplicated the Create and Use a Survey Form topic in the user manual to create this table called Restaurants 1 and Restaurants Location, which is a drawing. If I double click that open, you can see there's the one record that we added, which is the French restaurant Les Serpents in Chartres, and it has a geom point because we included a location. And what we're going to do is you can see that it also created a drawing for it. The drawing isn't particularly interesting because it just shows a point. And the way to use this optimally is to click Copy here and to make a local copy of that drawing. And this drawing now can be styled and can also be used in a map. So let's right-click on it and choose Create New Map. And what we'll do is we'll create a base layer that's, let's use a Bing Maps Satellite using that drawing. Click Create Map. And now what I can do is I can click open that map. And here's the dot. Let's style that layer. And we're going to make this a bright green dot. And let's make that a nice large point. Let's call it, make it 12 points. That's a little bit too big. Let's make it 11 points in size. Okay, super. And this little trick that we did by making this local copy, this drawing here, if you click on the properties, it takes this data from the table which is in the Kobo data source. So as this table is updated in the Kobo data source, this drawing here, that's a local drawing in our project, will automatically be updated. And if we zoom in here, we can see that is indeed where Les Serpents is located. It's right on the Great Cathedral Plaza. Here's the restaurant. You can see this satellite photo was taken in the summer, so there's the summer terrace, you know, with people dining outdoors with this absolutely spectacular view of the Grand Old Cathedral in Chartres. If you're ever in Chartres, don't miss dining at Les Serpents. It's definitely be one of the highlights of your trip, at least if you like restaurants. Okay, so all this is live. I mean, we're actually connected to the Kobo servers. If we want, we can use Kobo, and let's call this up again. Here's the project that we were working with in the first video. This is our account in Kobo Toolbox, and we can see here's the form. That's the Restaurants 1 form that we've created. And if we like, we can open that in a browser, as we might on a mobile device, like an Apple device or a Windows device or whatever, to open up the form. And there's the form, unsaved record found. We'll discard it. I don't know what we're fooling around with. So let's do another restaurant. We'll do the same one that's using the user manual topic. Au Théâtre Bouchon. My French is terrible. And the cuisine is Lyonnaise. That's from the town of Lyon, and which is kind of heavy on the meats. And Le Théâtre Bouchon is actually a little bit pricey. It's I call it on the 4 side. The user manual gives it a 3, but it's actually more like a form. And this is hearty food, lots of meat on a side street. Great, and let's mark the location. And to mark the location, we can use the widget right here, and Authier-Béchamp is right there. Let's click that point, so that marks the point. The ODK stuff isn't perfect. I'm not particularly happy with how all the map widgets work, but they're good enough and they work great. And now that we've added these fields to that, what we can do is we can click Submit. Record queued for submission. Okay, let's do that. Okay, let's add another record to here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by clicking the location, and because you can enter these fields in whatever order you want. I mean, that can be regulated. And what we're going to do is we're due here for the L'Estaminet. I'm going to click right here, and that's a wonderful little cafe restaurant, more like a coffee bar with a restaurant upstairs. That's right around the corner from the open air market in Chartres, and right next to the tourist office. So here we're going to give it a name, and cuisine is French Bistro. And it's actually remarkably inexpensive for being in such a high tourist volume place. And it's a wonderful service. Stop in. Stop in for coffee or a casual meal. All right, that pretty much describes it. And down here we'll click Submit. So we've now submitted yet another record, and let's go back into Manifold. Let's kind of get this out of the way and come back here to our Manifold session. And let's refresh the data. Let's acquire all this new data. And the way we do that is we just right-click on the Kobo data source. We click Refresh. And it's going to acquire the data that's been uploaded. There is some slight lag time. So, if you were kind of doing this in real time, normally you'd be collecting this data in the field. And by the time you get back to the office to get the stuff in the Manifold, that's all going to be there. And let's click View Refresh on the focus on the map. View Refresh. And we see these two additional dots that have appeared. Here's the one for Le Serpent. Here's one for Authier-Béchamp, and here's the one for L'Estaminet that we just added last. There's of course the open air market. Here's the tourist center, and let's follow through on this by creating labels. And let's create labels on the map so we can, and we'll use the name. Yeah, that's good. That's a good deal. So let's add labels to this, and I'm going to add the labels there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to style these a little bit. Let's see. Let's change the labels to move it to an offset. So let's make that 300. All this is inside baseball, I understand. So that if you want to learn how to do this stuff, you can just read all about the style things in Manifold, and there. So then we just created some labels, and so we see Le Serpent, Authier-Béchamp, L'Estaminet. The basic rule of thumb is really simple. This is a live data connection to the Kobo servers. So anything that out in the field that we add, using our mobile devices is automatically going to be uploaded into those servers. We can collect it at any time here. We can update this by just right-clicking and choosing Refresh. Once we refresh the tables, you can see there's the table. We now have 3 records along with when we did all this. To refresh the map, we just click View Refresh, and that refreshes the map. That collects all the new data into the map and updates the map. Let's see. One other thing the user manual did here is it showed how to work with style. So we can change the style here to use different dates. So let's use a date that's setting like this, date and time. So you can see how that sets the dates. And if we like, we can even change the languages. Let's click here in style. Let's change the language from neutral to more. Let's choose for France, and let's use French as used in France. I think Manifold now knows about 600 different languages, so that's very convenient for international use. And you can show how it's going to. As you can see how it's going to now show the names of the days of the week in French as well as the months. There we go. Vendredi, Novembre. That's my terrible French accent again, but hey, what can you do? So I hope you've enjoyed this quick video that shows you how to collect data. We've done a very simple example here where we've collected points for restaurants. You can obviously do this for manhole covers or stoplights or trees or whatever it is that you're keeping track of. The free service in Kobo Toolbox, which is one reason why Manifold uses the Kobo Toolbox ecosystem, allows you to enter about 10,000 items per month per account with up to 5 gigabytes. So that's just an enormous amount. Even if you're operating a small town, that's easily more than enough. And if you need more than that for free, well, you can operate your own Kobo server on one of your local machines. But I just like using the the Kobo servers that they provide by default. I hope you've enjoyed this quick guide. You can see how using Open Standards Manifold allows you to do spectacular data acquisition in the field using any of the mobile devices that you might want to use, Android, Apple, Windows, whatever. And using standards which provide a whole lot of resources in the form of how you can use for education and knowledge and collecting it's just a spectacular wide array of forms. And in fact, many Esri Survey 123 forms, because Survey 123 uses the same ODK and Keto technology, will work unmodified in Kobo, and others will work with just slight modifications. So it's really a great way of getting a world-class data acquisition in the field. Tell your friends about this, and remember all the wonderful things you get with Manifold. I hope you've enjoyed this video. All this works in the free Manifold Viewer as well. So check out the user manual for more detailed information. Thanks for watching, and goodbye from Manifold Land. Well, that was fun. If you want to see more, visit us at www.manifold.net. As always, Manifold delivers the world's most advanced, highest quality spatial products for GIS and DBMS at a low price that you can afford. Once again, that's manifold.net. See you soon.